Welcome to my channel Car Auto, ladies and gentlemen. The Ford E300 is a member of the Ford E series, formerly known as the Ford Econoline. This line of vans, introduced in 1961, quickly became one of the most popular and versatile full-size vans in North America. The E300, in particular, found its niche in both the passenger and cargo van segments. Designed with durability, simplicity, and space in mind, the E300 proved to be a workhorse in commercial fleets, government services, ambulances, camper conversions, and more. Although not as widely recognized by the average consumer as the F-150 or Mustang, the E300 contributed significantly to Ford's reputation for dependable utility vehicles. The E300 designation was used during specific periods in the E-Series timeline, especially in the third generation of the Econoline 1975-1991. This generation marked a significant departure from the earlier cab-over-engine design to a more traditional front-engine layout, allowing for improved engine accessibility and safety. The E300 typically sat between the lighter-duty E100 and the heavy-duty E-350. It was a balance of capability and maneuverability, offering more payload and towing capacity than the E100, while remaining more economical and nimble than the E350. Under the hood, the Ford E300 vans were offered with a range of engines over the years, including inline-6 and V8 options. Popular engines included the 4.9 LIN E6, the 5.0 L 302 cubic inch V8, and the more powerful 5.8 L 351 cubic inch V8. Some models also offered diesel options, particularly during the 1980s when fuel economy became a concern due to oil crises and economic factors. Paired with either manual or automatic transmissions, these engines provided a combination of reliability and performance suitable for the E300's wide range of uses. The E300 was commonly seen in fleet operations, such as delivery services, utility companies, and airport shuttle providers. It was also popular as a base for conversion vans and recreational vehicles (RVs) thanks to its spacious interior and solid chassis. In camper van configurations, the E300 could be outfitted with beds, kitchens, and bathroom setups, transforming it into a compact, mobile living space. Its square body and body-on-frame construction made it ideal for such modifications. In terms of design, the E-300 and the broader E-Series underwent several facelifts and upgrades through the years. The interiors were basic but functional, with driver-focused dashboards, large cargo areas, and multiple seating configurations for passenger versions. The exterior styling remained boxy for most of the E300's production life, reflecting its utilitarian nature. This simplicity was a selling point, making the van easy to repair and modify. Safety and technology in the E-300 evolved gradually. Earlier models offered basic safety features such as lap belts and single-circuit brakes, but by the late 1980s and early 1990s, newer models began incorporating dual airbags, anti-lock brakes (ABS), and improved crumple zones. However, as a commercial vehicle, the E300 often prioritized load capacity and functionality over luxury or high-end features. One of the key strengths of the E300 was its versatility. The van's long wheelbase and flat load floor made it ideal for cargo transportation, allowing businesses to move large amounts of equipment or supplies. In passenger form, it could seat up to 15 people, making it a favorite among churches, schools, and community organizations. The vehicle's wide rear doors and sliding side doors allowed easy access to the interior, enhancing its practicality for daily use. Throughout its production, the E300 proved to be a reliable and sturdy vehicle. Owners and fleet managers appreciated its low maintenance costs, availability of parts, and the robustness of its drivetrain. The chassis was often praised for its durability, with many E300 vans remaining on the road for decades, especially in regions where rust was not a major issue. Even today, older E300 vans can be found in service as food trucks, mobile workshops, or hobbyist camper vans. The Ford E300 also contributed to the evolution of Ford's commercial vehicle strategy. It helped cement Ford's place in the commercial van market, a position it would retain for decades. The E-Series as a whole dominated the segment for years and was frequently the best-selling full-size van in the United States. This success paved the way for later models, such as the Ford Transit, which eventually replaced the passenger versions of the E-Series in North America starting in 2014. By the time the E300 designation was phased out, Ford had shifted toward standardizing the naming convention to E150, E250, and E350 across the board. These numbers more clearly reflected the vehicle's payload capacity and aligned with the rest of Ford's truck lineup. The E300's role was essentially absorbed into the E250 and E350 ranges, with similar configurations and capabilities. Collectors and van enthusiasts today look back on the E300 with a sense of nostalgia. It represents a golden era of American utility vehicles, when vans were built with simplicity and strength in mind. For those interested in van life or restoring classic utility vehicles, the E300 offers a solid platform with plenty of potential. Its boxy shape, rear-wheel drive layout, and proven mechanical components make it an appealing choice for custom builds and vintage restorations. In conclusion, the Ford E300 was a reliable and versatile member of the Ford E-Series lineup. It played an essential role in commercial and personal transportation for several decades. Whether hauling cargo, carrying passengers, or serving as the base for a home on wheels, the E300 embodied the rugged, no-nonsense ethos that defined much of Ford's work-focused engineering. While newer models and modern vans have taken its place, the legacy of the E-300 lives on in garages, workshops, and road trips across the country. Please subscribe to my channel Car Auto.